Okay, meanwhile, over at Twitter, complete mayhem, according to the media. People are freaking out over the current activities over at Twitter. So what exactly is happening over at Twitter? Well, CNN's Oliver Darcy has now branded it Twitter's last gasp, which is a radical overstatement of the case. Basically, what happened is that Elon Musk put out an ultimatum that all of his employees should come to work extremely hardcore. Basically, he said, we are not going to be doing this routine where employees get to run the place. You need to commit to working long hours and working hard and fixing this or leave. This is a couple days ago. He issued an ultimatum to Twitter employees. He said, commit to a new hardcore Twitter or leave the company with severance pay. Twitter is shifting to an engineer-driven operation, one that will need to be extremely hardcore going forward, according to the midnight email obtained by the Washington Post. Employees were asked to click an icon and respond by Thursday if they wanted to stay. He said this will mean working long hours at high intensity. Only exceptional performance will constitute a passing grade. By mid-Wednesday, members of Twitter's trust and safety team, which of course is the most ideologically driven part of the Twitter company, they were discussing a mass resignation, and then apparently they engaged in a mass resignation. According to the Washington Post, hundreds of people working at Twitter said that they were going to leave. They refused to sign a pledge to work longer hours. According to the Washington Post, the number of engineers tending to multiple critical systems had been reduced to 2, 1, or even 0. So it went from like 20 in a particular department to 2 people in a particular department. Now, people on Twitter who don't understand how Twitter works, they think what this means is that basically engineers are in the back room, and every time you tweet, what happens is that they take your tweet, they retype it onto a floppy disk, they take the floppy disk, they upload it into like a computer from 1950 that fills a room, and then that's how your tweet goes up. And so if you don't have people, 1,000 Twitter employees who every day are just re-inputting the tweets, the thing's just going to break down. In 24 hours, it's going to shut down. That's wrong. Okay, what the engineers are there to do is they're there to stop an emergency meltdown. So somebody hacks the system, for example, or there's a major bug that crashes the system. Instead of having 20 guys, you now have 2. So that means that the critical systems, if they come under attack, that could be a problem. But the way the media are treating it, it's like, oh my God, well, tomorrow it's going to go dark. It's just going to wind down. That is not right. In an early sign, the number of those declining to sign was greater than anticipated. Musk eased off a return-to-office mandate he had issued a week ago, telling employees Thursday they'd be allowed to work remotely if their managers assert they are making an excellent contribution. But apparently, several workers are saying that the precarious position has been reached. A former employee said, quote, I know of 6 critical systems, like serving tweets level of critical, which no longer have any engineers. There's no longer even a skeleton crew manning the system. It will continue to coast until it runs into something, and then it will stop. Okay, that would be an implication regarding the possibility of an emergency. So how many people are still remaining? Apparently, somewhere between 75 and 88% of all the people working at Twitter when Musk took over are basically gone at this point. Musk eliminated roughly 50% of the 7,500-person workforce when he first took over. A former Twitter executive told CNN that this was a mass exodus. I asked about the situation. A former executive said, Elon is finding out he can't bully top senior talent. They have lots of options and they won't put up with his antics. They will struggle just to keep the lights on. That assessment was universally shared by a half dozen current and former employees that spoke with Oliver Darcy on Thursday. Now, you would imagine they would say that, right? Everybody who leaves the company says about their old company, the place is going to fall down without me. Darcy says Twitter management was in panic mode hours before the deadline passed. People familiar with the matter said, explaining senior leaders were scrambling to convince talent to stay on at the company. Now, while all of this is happening, Twitter is reaching new heights in users. Twitter continues to have massive traffic. They're going to have to go out. They're going to have to hire back some engineers. What this is Twitter's most perilous moment in terms of how you actually rebuild Twitter. There was going to come a moment where everybody who's not ideologically aligned and enthusiastic about working for Trump was going to have to leave. That moment has just been accelerated. So instead of sort of a slow walk to this point where a Twitter engineer that Musk didn't like was let go and a new one replaced him, instead of that, basically everybody who Musk would have fired anyway is leaving at the same time, which means they're short-staffed right now. The question is going to be whether they can staff up quickly enough to prevent the ship from running into the iceberg. That's essentially what's going on right now. Jeff Siebert, a former head of consumer product at Twitter, said, according to the New York Times, that the company's situation was, quote, sad and disappointing, and that Mr. Musk's leadership had caused confusion for users, advertisers, and employees. Of all the companies that don't need more drama, it's Twitter, said Siebert. Now, the media are going nuts over this because the media spend literally all day on Twitter. In which case, probably they also just say learn to code. Maybe they should learn to weld. Maybe that's the thing that needs to happen right here. But the notion that Twitter is about to go under forever, or that even if Twitter went under for 24 hours, you think that they wouldn't get it back up and running? It'll become more buggy. It'll become worse for a moment, and then it'll get better. Honestly, I think it will get better. And the reason I think it will get better is because I actually believe that a lot of these tech companies are wildly overstaffed. There's no way that Twitter needed 7,500 employees. That is not a thing that was necessary in the first place. And a lot of what's going on right now is also that members of the media, forget about the sort of chaos inside. Members of the media are eager to see Twitter fail because they don't like Musk, and they don't like what Musk has done to Twitter, which is open the place up. They're very angry. In fact, they're rooting for Democratic lawmakers to restrict Twitter. We'll get to that in a moment. Alrighty, folks, Cyber Week is almost upon us. You are in luck because we just launched the all-new Daily Wire Plus shop. So pick something up worth keeping, like a Sweet Baby album t-shirt, the Johnny the Walrus book and plushie bundle, or the Daily Wire Leftist Tears tumbler, the Dog Bowl bundle, and so much more. The new DW Plus shop is your chance to defund woke everything this holiday season by heading on over to dailywire.com/shop today. Keep checking back for unprecedented deals across the new shop throughout Cyber Week. Also, Jeremy's Razors may have started as the best joke we ever told, but now it is more real than ever. In his quest to earn your business from woke companies that hate you, the God King turned a single glorious razor into a triumphant new line of men's products. Products like the nourishing shampoo and conditioner, charcoal body wash, luxurious beard kit, and the new Precision 5 razor with a flip back trimmer. Yes, they are all very real and also very spectacular. So if you're ready to get a great shave or exfoliating wash from a company that will never bow before the woke mob, go to jeremysrazors.com. Shop the brand new line of products right now. That's jeremysrazors.com today. Okay, so the celebration in the media, you can sense it over Twitter's troubles. It really is about Musk, right? They hate Musk. They don't like the fact that Musk disagrees with them politically. And so they are fully excited about the fact that 90% of the workforce over at Twitter is gone. Now, that excitement is going to turn to sheer rage and tears if it turns out that Musk has sufficiently cleared out the place that he's able to hire back new employees. Twitter keeps running, except on a fraction of its old budget, and suddenly it looks profitable. Because it turns out you didn't need 7,500 employees over at Twitter. Maybe you only need 700 employees over at Twitter or 1,000 employees over at Twitter. It saves you a lot on the other end. It also means that a lot of these tech companies are going to look at their own employee base and go, wait a second, do we need this many people working for us? We're already head into a tech recession. Okay, forget about whether there's a generalized recession. Tech leads the way because so much of the extraordinary amount of money that was flowing through the economy was invested in tech that you created another tech bubble. It's very reminiscent of like 1999, 2000, when Pets.com was a massive, massive stock. And you're seeing that now with Facebook. I mean, Facebook stock is down just Meta. Their stock is down unbelievably, and they're laying off tens of thousands of workers. And the same thing is happening even at Amazon, which is an actual profitable and solid company, one of the biggest companies in the country. They're laying off tens of thousands of workers. So if Musk is able to lay off this much of his workforce, you think other big tech companies aren't going to look at their own workforce and go, guys, we are way overstaffed. There's going to be a lot of people learning to weld if that is the case. But a lot of people rooting against Musk, obviously. And that includes a bunch of people in the government. And the simple fact of the matter is that the members of the left would love to see Twitter go down. They would love to see Musk go down. This is why Democratic lawmakers are calling for an investigation of Elon Musk. Now, I've yet to see them call for an investigation into, for example, Jeff Bezos, a billionaire, buying the Washington Post. But it's really, really bad to allow Musk to basically run his company. And so you have Democrats like Ed Markey going after Elon Musk. On Thursday, 7 Democratic senators called for the Federal Trade Commission to investigate whether the company had violated a consumer privacy agreement with the agency since Musk took it over. The letter followed the resignations of Twitter security executives last week after Musk appeared to change some of the company's data security practices. So now they're going to investigate him. It's funny. They're perfectly happy, by the way, to work hand in glove with other big tech companies. I mean, in fact, as we learned yesterday in a public hearing, Chris Wray, the head of the FBI, he says that the FBI might actually be gathering your actual private Facebook data without a warrant. That apparently does not warrant any sort of congressional upset or investigation. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into LA doubling down on the stupid by electing a person who is not going to solve homelessness. Plus, Arthur Brooks from the Harvard Kennedy School stops by to talk about happiness leading up to Thanksgiving. If you're not a member, click the link in the description and join us.